All right, guys, this is Emmett Stallworth again, the Alpha Builder. Just had the home inspector to inspect the house I've been building. Not quite finished with it yet, but hey, you can't get them all. Let's talk about it. All right, guys, this is Emmett again, the Alpha Builder, guys. Please like, share, subscribe to this channel. Just trying to take you guys through some things that you're going to probably see. And this actually helps me kind of really evaluate things as well while I'm going through this with you guys. But so as we build on a house, I'm at the end, but the homeowner actually hired a home inspector, um, prior to me finish, which is a really good thing, guys. And builders, don't look at that as being a bad thing. Or don't look at it as the homeowners don't trust you and things like that. Hey, man, it gives them peace of mind. It actually gives me peace of mind because now I could actually, 'cause, guys, a house is over 300,000 parts. You're gonna miss things. As a matter of fact, the inspector that was out there missed a lot of the major things that I actually weren't done. He actually didn't catch those things. But so you you you're gonna miss some things, guys. That's why it's always good to have other builders to come in and look behind you, especially guys, especially during the foundation phases. It depends on what you're doing on the foundation. If you're doing footings and all those different on the walls, and have somebody come in during those phases. Another builder who's been in the game for a minute. Foundation is when you need to. I would hire a home inspector to come in during the foundation phase. The frame homeowners listed the framing stage. So once we get that house framed, and I have all my roughs done, and the builder has done all his punch items for the framing, then I would say, hey, I got my home inspector to come in to look at the framing because guys, most of the stuff that's critical that you need to see, that you really, really need to see on a construction job site is going to be the foundation, the framing, the things that happen behind the walls. You know, guys, you're going to see all the stuff that he was looking at were all just really preference items or cosmetic things. Nothing really code. Everything was code compliant. So that's a good thing. So you guys, let's just kind of look at this right here. I'm gonna go through each one of these right here, and just, these are some of the things that he caught me on, and I just kind of put it. And guys, I suggest you guys get this right here, guys. This right here is this is a software called Company Cam. This allows me to go in and make notes. I can select all these notes, all these pictures and notes that I have, and I can send them to my subcontractors. That way, you're not dealing with a language barrier. You're basically dealing with, hey, these are pictures. This is what we got. And so these are some things, and I thought I actually checked this. I usually take a flashlight and check this right here, but this is a plumbing thing. This is something I would send to the plumber. Say, hey, get this right. We're about maybe a day away from we punching it out tomorrow with the homeowners. So these are things that this guy needs to take care of. So, he actually found that leak. Got a little drip. You run that water right here, got a little drip right here on this pipe right here, guys. Got to take care of that. Plumbers. That's the plumber guy. This right here is stuff, I put that tape there, but this is stuff that he put on his inspection report. And guys, this right here is this is the basement garage. The basement garage area. So, everything needs to be, mudded. You got to have that mudded because you're actually creating a fire partition, a 1 hour fire partition between the habitable space, which is upstairs, and the garage. Well, something else that he was trying to figure out, he actually, there was something else he was trying to figure out whether or not that we needed a heat sensor down in the garage. But, according to the plans, the building official, when they reviewed the plans, that wasn't one of the items they had. Now, some municipalities, I know when I was the building official, when I served as a building official, I used to require the heat detectors in the kitchen, because you can get electrical fire, something like that. It may not get the smoke, but it will get that heat. So you just never know. So these are the little items that he had right here, man. He put that on the report, which is, which we were going to take care of that anyway. That's kind of hole right there. I've already sent all these right here to my painter. This is something else. So this is what I sent to. This is a situation where you have I wish I had a bigger picture. This is the vent hood. So when the homeowner bought the vent hood, guys, I let them pick their appliances, and they bought it from Home Depot. Well, we got 10-foot ceilings. If you put the vent hood in the right place, where it's supposed to be over the stove, I got another picture of it. If you put it over the stove, let me see if I got. I don't want to look at that. But it's a vent hood, guys. If you put it at the vent hood at the right height, the little thing to cover up the pipe itself is not long enough. It wasn't long enough on the 10-foot. It couldn't go all the way up here to the ceiling. So what we had to do is we had to build a little box, and then we can pull that little thing, the little shield thing that covers this pipe up. We can pull that up there. Notice I got that tape there. That tape has to be UL rated. I think it's supposed to be UL rated. So this is what we got. So the painters will come here and paint all this right here and make it look pretty. Okay. This right here is, once again, this is in the garage area. So if you look kind of right here, let's see now. If you look right here, you can see where this is the habitable space down here. Habitable space is up above that garage. And so we got to fill this right here with a fire caulk. There has to be a 1-hour fire rating between both areas. So I did it on one side, I just didn't do it on that side. This right here is another preference thing. Well, guys, this right here is that's a code thing right here. So let me not say that he didn't have any code items. This is a code. I just missed that little part right there. If you look at the left side, I did do the left side. I just missed that little part right there. This right here, he wanted caulk right here. This is another preference thing, but you got to think about it. If you got, if these right here are bolted in, water's coming down, and if it's bolted in, there's a hole right there. It would be good to have a flashing between the two. That's another preference. But caulking right here, that's a big caulk spot right there. But caulking wouldn't be a bad idea. That would help out a whole lot. All right, this is something else that the plumber should do, guys. And what you guys do, this is something that I think that's a good idea. So I take this right here and I send it to my plumber. Number one, this right here, all this right here needs to be caulked all the way around here, all the way around the edges of the tub. It needs to have a silicone-based caulk. Then, now, I think we got grout around here, but it needs to have caulk, not grout. The tile guy did put a bead of grout around here. Now, they do make a silicone-based caulk that looks like grout. It looks just like grout. And you can put it around. It's the same color as the grout, but it expands. You got two different products next to each other. When they heat and cool, they're gonna expand and contract at different rates. And so you need that elasticity between the two in order to keep that seal there. But guys, here I want y'all to look at this right here, and I think I'm doing this right here, right? So you want to, let me make sure I'm in the right place. There we go. Guys, you want to make sure, and I think I am doing this right, you want to make sure you caulk all the way around in the sides, but you want to leave a little opening at the bottom. Same thing right here. Caulk around, leave a little opening at the bottom. Because, guys, if you got a water leak, you want the water to roll on out. Now, we got a leak right here. It's actually leaking. So you want that water to come on out instead of going behind the walls. You want to do the same thing with your toilets, too. So if you got toilets, you want to caulk all the way around and leave the back part of the toilet open so that when you find out you got a leak, you can see a little water on the floor, and that lets you know that that wax ring has given. So you want to keep that in mind, guys. Let's see what else. These the shower's not working. The water, for some reason, some ain't working. The valve or some is not working right. So we got to figure that one out. That's another plumber thing. Give it to the plumber. Hey, guys, here you go. I got to cover this right here. That's going to be for the cable guy. Just put a cover plate on that was just to remind me. Once again, you got to, a bead of caulk. Go around this thing right here, around here, leave the bottom, leave a little bit of the bottom open so when that water drains down, you can see that there's a problem if you get water that drains down. So just put that in there. We need a bead of caulk around this right here bowl right here. Once again, leave the back part of it open so that if you get any water start to come around this, come around this area, we know something's going on here. Ideally, guys, it would be good to have this, on this deck right here, because up under the deck we have what they call a ledger board. Ledger board have these screws in them. They staggered. You don't want water, and this is the open part of the deck, so we really want to do this on the open part of the deck. So you want water to roll down and then get in here. We need some kind of flashing between that ledger board that's up under this deck board. You want to have a flashing between the ledger board and the brick wall itself, so that if any water gets down there, it can't get inside from the holes that you drill in there. You got some bolts to go through there to go all the way through to hit the rim board of the house. So the way we're going to do it, since that's pretty tight, we're just going to caulk all this right here. Good thing we weren't going the other way. So we're going to caulk this whole thing right here. That'll help that out. When you got decks, guys, like this right here, you see how this right here, those boards are starting to move already. So what you want, and I already had the screws already there. My guy hadn't showed up yet. These, I got 3/8 bolts. One right here, one run right here. It's gonna go through this right here, 6x6 post, and go through these guys right here. Maybe go halfway in that beam right here. So get it right here. It's kind of what you want. Let me see what else we got, guys. This right here is cedar. It's kind of good. It's probably not a good idea for it to touch concrete. Concrete is porous. It allows water to wick through it. It's probably not a good idea. So what we'll do is we'll put a bead of caulk here just to keep that humidity, any kind of water from getting up in there. Ideally, the best case scenario is to have this thing sitting on top of post brackets. Then we would have had a problem with post brackets. See, we probably wouldn't have had a problem with that. They look ugly. You need to wrap those post brackets. So little areas where the caulk, the guys didn't, your painters guys are the ones who need to caulk all your windows. So they didn't quite get that little part there. There's just little areas. So I had them to redo all the caulking around the windows and the doors. Right here, light fixtures, man. You probably want to have a bead of caulk all the way around this time, not just around the sides and the top, but on the bottom too. So you want to have all this caulk. Looks better too, man. I had my painter to do all of that. I just sent all this right to my painter. This right here is so we don't have a lot of positive slope right here in this area right here. So we got to get this water away from the house. In most cases, you want to get the water about 5 feet away. So you want to have some gutter extensions. In this case, I just put a splash block right here. Once it hits this right here, concrete, it can get on. This concrete is actually sloped downward, so it can get away from the house. But gutters extenders will help with this right here, guys. Once again, we got caulk right here. Gutter extenders. So you want to put that right there. And not only that, guys, the ground is, we just backfilled this right here. Well, not backfill, but we just did the landscaping. So the soil is not as hard. It's still kind of moist. It don't rain and stuff. So, we could say that, hey, the surface, because if you got positive slope going down, the surface itself can be used to move the water 6 feet away. But in this case right here, since the guy made a good point, since the ground is not as hard, it's probably good right now to have extensions right there as well. Like stuff like this right here. This is the vent from the 90% efficient unit. You want to have those. That needs to be caulked, guys. You don't want critters and insects and stuff getting up in here. Once again, that needs to be caulked. We had a little hole right here that needs to be caulked. And these right here, so he also had these right here were, they were loose too. So we had to have these right here secure. They need to be tight and attached to the brick with these screws to screw into the brick. That right there, they need to be caulked as well. And they chipped away some of the brick too, guys, but you know, it needs to be caulked. And you know, we might as well go ahead and caulk these guys right here too. More caulking. This is where this is the HVAC unit. This is the Freon line coming through. This right here is the condensation drain that's coming through. Well, they you know, they tried to caulk it pretty good, man, but you know, we still got little areas that needs to be handled. They may make a little. I'm looking for a little. There should be a grout, like little areas like this right here, where you can just fill in that with a silicone base, sanded caulk type grout, you know, so that this right here won't be visible. Because there's a couple of places that we need to use that, like you know, here, here. This is another area. You know, here's another, guys, once again, this is preference. It's just a good idea. But I'm going to do it because I think it's a good idea. You know, maybe have a bead of caulk to go up here and around here. Try to go down as much as possible because water gets to running down here. These big wires right here, you don't want water to try to get up in this box some kind of way. More gutters, especially right here, guys. I have negative slope here, so it actually running into the house. So I got you know, my landscaping guys coming back out. He can pack that in and fill that dirt up. I think we got another picture, guys. Most municipalities is not going to just let you leave this just like this right here. That's why I called my guy up. You know, they're not going to sign off. You know, this is erosion headache right here. Now we can get into how all this right here happened because I wasn't supposed to. You know, that cost me $6,000 on the front end, and that was the homeowner was engaging with the excavator. He took down all these trees. We should have left it like this right here. But guys, they're not going to let you do this right here, man. You got to remove that silk fence, seed and straw this right here. Got to get some stabilization. That soil needs to be stabilized back there. This is where we got so this right here, this needs to slope down this way. It's actually sloping toward the house a little bit. So it needs to slope. So the guys need to put a little dirt here and pack it in. Now, I did this right here because I needed to build this right here up in order to get my meter set in time so I can, the landscaper wasn't coming out on time, so I had to build this up. I just built this up over here on this side so that the meter will be eye level. Alabama Power won't install these meters unless it's eye level. Okay. Positive slope. This is a, man, I went in, the homeowner wanted this right here. Preference again, guys. You know, I got to stop making suggestions to the homeowners, man, because, you know, sometimes they follow my suggestions and they want to move this and change this. I mean, I tried to move this, but I couldn't make it right, man. I made it work. So I called my guys that did the accessories. I called them back out and said, hey, man, y'all fix this right here for me. And they also want to put this over here. I should, you know, that should be a charge. It really should, that should be a change order right there, guys. I cannot get this dishwasher in. I got to get the instructions on it because I think you just drill a hole here to lock it into the cabinets, which means I need to cut this right here away to push it on in there. And I think you drill a hole in here, but I don't really know because the instructions, guys, we got these things from Home Depot and I don't have the instructions on them. Somehow the instructions may be with the box or something, it then got thrown out. So I may have to look this up online, get the model number, look it up online, and look at the instructions. But I think you just drill right through here and attach to the cabinets, and then maybe drill up because I see some little flanges there where you can do that at. So that's something I got to figure that one out. And plumbers should have set this thing. The security. In order to get this vent hood up here, I had to move it a little. And so in order to move it, I had to move it a little bit to the left. I stepped on the insulation and, you know, pushed it down. Insulation needs to be at the foot. It needs to be about 10 inches. That's attic insulation. So I put that there and I told my insulation guy, they didn't insulate one whole side of the house, guys. This is, and I didn't even check. I just assumed these guys got it right. On the attic, man, they insulated one side and then do the other side. I mean, man, here it is right here, guys. None of that was insulated. That's crazy. These guys, you got to stay on these subs. Look at that. They didn't. This is up. This is above the master suite. Boy. Look at that. Trying to figure that out again. Let me see. Guys, I typically like for these guys. This now that's all he had on the inspection, guys. That's all he had that was worth me looking at on the inspection that hadn't been taken. That hadn't been taken care of. I think there was a couple of things that I took care of while I was there. But this is something I put on here, guys. I try to, on the interior trim doors, I try to take out one screw for the hinges and run a 3-inch screw through it so that it'll catch the jam. That way the doors over time won't start sagging. Now, this is what it looked like beforehand, guys. That vent hood box, this is what it looked like before. Things like that there. These are some of the holes. I'll put some access panels up here. All right, guys, but once again, guys, I tell you this right here, man. Welcome inspectors, man, and guys, inspectors, home inspectors, not the municipal inspectors, but the home inspectors. I imagine they do well. This is a lucrative business. Now, in the state of Alabama, you have to have your license. You have to go take a test and get a license to be a home inspector. But you know, this is a good opportunity to make a little money and make notes. It will help you learn building too, guys, if you're into that game too. All right, guys, once again, have that inspector a better idea. So this is what I think. I think you should hire a home inspector. Homeowners hire a home inspector for the foundation, framing, final. Okay? Then also, maybe 1 year before your 1 year warranty is up. Depends on what, maybe about a month before it's up, have them to come out again, have another come out again to check everything, make sure. Now they checking code compliance stuff. Don't have cosmetic stuff. Well, I don't like the way this look. This tile bar, I like it to be over here instead of it. Those are preferences, guys. Got nothing. Most of those things that you've seen, with the exception of that fire thing, that fire rating thing, all that was just preference. That's not, builder's not going to come back and fix that. You get one time to deal with that stuff, and that's doing a punch. And that's whether or not the builder's going to decide to take care of it or not. They may just say, well, I'm not going to do that. All right, guys, like, share, subscribe. I do have a members channel, guys. You guys ought to check out as well. And you got to hit that join button. And you guys have a good one. Thanks for dropping in.